In today's video, let's take a look at Toronto condo prices from across the city of Toronto, the major condo hubs, North York, downtown, Midtown. And as always, while we break down the prices, we're going to give you more context and cover a lot having to do with the Toronto real estate market and GTA real estate market. Let's start. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtor on Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam, a Toronto real estate agent working with buyers and sellers across the GTA. On this channel, we like to discuss all things having to do with the Toronto real estate market, buyer advice, seller advice, pre-construction previews, building reviews, condo market updates, area analysis, tenancy laws, and so much more. So if you find this type of content enjoyable or informative, feel free to support the channel with a subscription and a like on this video. Furthermore, you can find my contact information on the screen and in the description box with regards to where you can get in touch with me if any other questions arise. And I have met so many lovely people through this channel in the last 3 years, so many lovely new friends and clients. But enough of all that. Let's get to the point of today's video. So we're going to take a look at the major condo hubs or the major condo centers within the city of Toronto. So otherwise, mostly Toronto Central in terms of Midtown, downtown, and North York, and then a bit of Toronto East and Toronto West. Let's start with downtown Toronto. So far in March of 2023, so 22 full days into March of 2023, because this is being recorded March 23rd, we see, based on 290 sales in downtown Toronto, a sold price of $785,000. Month over month, this represents a 25 sale increase in the same period in February of 2023. But in terms of average sale price, we see the average sale price has dropped $6,000 because in February, the first 22 full days, we were looking at an average sold price of $791,000 within the downtown Toronto condo market. But it's not that simple because, as always, I go through every single transaction, almost every single transaction, not every single one per se, to see what's affecting the average, because here we're looking at the averages. And in the month of February within downtown Toronto, there were more condos selling around the $3 million and even in some cases the $4 million price point, carrying up the average. For example, for instance, one of the sales that affected the average here, for instance, on the higher end here, we see a unit in 480 Queens Quay, unit 1002, and it was a 3-bedroom, 4-washroom unit, obviously, around 5,000 square feet with 3 parking spots. Now, this is a much older building. They don't really build penthouse units anymore that's near 5,000 square feet, even for new buildings that you can find around $5 million per se. And it's a spacious unit for sure. It has a pretty big solarium with direct southern facing views. And as I said, it's pretty much the size of a large house, right? This is a pretty big unit. And that sold in February. So there was a lot of those sales that kind of carried up the average. Whereas in March of 2023, there weren't that many. There were still some, but that many $3 million sales. So that clearly had an impact on the averages. Overall, and then this is going to be a running theme as I go through this video, most metrics indicate to us that the market has even picked up month over month from February. And when I was making these videos, I was making the same claim of the market picking up according to the numbers and what I saw on the ground from January to February. Now that month over month increase has continued into March, and once again, this is somewhat seasonal. It is the spring market. However, as I've covered in my most recent videos, this spring market can end up being a little bit more heated than initially expected if inventory stays low, 5-year fixed term mortgages come down, and April 12th, they don't increase the rates again, which all things are pointing towards a continuation of the pause in the April 12th meeting because the latest CPI came in far below expectations. But now let's shift all the way to North York. Let's take a look at the North York condo market. How are prices holding up there 22 days into March? Well, so far in March of 2023, within the Toronto condo market, particularly the North York condo market, based upon 81 sales, we see an average sold price of $696,000 and a median sold price of $670,000. Here on an average basis, prices have actually declined $3,000 and declined $8,000 month over month, wherein the average sold price in February was $694,000, so really $3,000, not much. In terms of the median in February was $678,000. North York here, we're considering C7, C14. As always, if you do not know what these codes refer to, the link to the TREP maps is in the description box. It is an interactive map. You can toggle the top right corner where you can expand it to the municipalities, and you'll see what these C's, these W's, these E's refer to. But basically C7 and C14 are central North York. So really Young Shepherd, Young Finch, Young Steeles. However, although average and median are down, sales are up. And along with sales being up, days on market are down within the Toronto condo market, particularly North York. Average amount of days a property is staying on the market before selling has decreased by 3. So decreasing from 25 in North York in February to now 22. And I've seen it on the ground. Once again, my favorite catchphrase on this channel. I don't just go purely based on the numbers, but I work in real estate, I sell real estate, I buy real estate for my clients. And I'm seeing the same thing on the ground. Right now, my condo listings, particularly the middle tier condo listings in the $650,000 to $750,000, $100,000 range. Well, those listings of mine are getting a lot of foot traffic, a lot of showings, a lot of buyer intrigue, and a lot of offers. But that's just my experience because I might have a listing, a really good listing in a really good building. Overall, assessing the market at North York, I can confidently say that North York is pretty much on par with last month. Even the numbers don't indicate that. The numbers indicate an actual decline, a very minimal to non-existent decline of 3,000 in terms of average, a more substantive decline of 8,000 in terms of median. But as I always say, this is not as if it's geometry or mathematics. It's not that simple. On the ground, what I'm seeing, and when I have my ear onto the ground, I think North York has pretty much plateaued, considering 22 days versus 22 days month over month, as opposed to downtown, which has increased. Now, where prices have really increased is Midtown Toronto. That's right. Because when we take a look at Midtown, and here once again, we're mainly considering Midtown as Yonge and Eglinton, portions of Forest Hill South, Humewood, Cedarville, Mount Pleasant West, Mount Pleasant East. Here we see prices have actually picked up quite more substantially than downtown, and of course as opposed to North York when prices were down. Because 22 days into March, with regards to the Toronto condo market, particularly Midtown condo market, we see an average sold price based on 48 sales of $707,000 with a median sale of $670,000. This represents about a $17,000 in terms of average increase, because in February of 2023 the average sold price was $690,000. In terms of median, this represents a $15,000 increase, wherein the median sold price in February of 2023 with regards to the Midtown Toronto condo market was $655,000. Sales have also jumped 16 as well, because in February we're looking at 32 sales overall. And the Midtown Toronto condo market, from my experience, is a more confined set of sales that usually occur as opposed to downtown, and in some surprising cases North York as well. What do I mean by that? Well, the spread between the cheapest sale and the most expensive sale is usually far less than downtown Toronto. For instance, you know how earlier in the video we were covering downtown, the most expensive sales were in the $3 million price points, in some cases actually $4 million. Well, here in March of 2023, we see in Midtown the most expensive sale is closer to 1.5 million. Don't get me wrong, that's still expensive. And let's take a look at the listing while I break it down. And here we see, of course, as we take a look at it, for instance, this one in 195 Merton, unit 807, don't get me wrong, still sold for 1.5 nearly, right? So it's not cheap by any means, but you know, it's not 3 million or 3.2 either. You know, it's only 1,300 square feet. The other one we're looking at was 4,000, 5,000 square feet. It has 1 parking as opposed to 3 parking. Southeast exposure, obviously. And as we take a look at it, once again, it's not cheap by any means. It's an older building, but it's definitely much smaller than that unit we saw earlier in the video. and most other units that I didn't even cover. Most of the $3 million sales in downtown, even in newer buildings, are usually bigger than this. So this is what I mean. It's kind of inherent and natural to the area that the highest sales in the Midtown area, the Yonge and Eglinton area, are going to be cheaper than the highest sales downtown and even North York. So the spread is far less. Now, in a rare blue moon, you do have your $2.53 million sale in Midtown. I'm not going to tell you that's never happened, but it's far more rare. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to cover Toronto West and Toronto East in today's video. I'm going to definitely make it a point to do that in a future video. But overall, thus far in March of 2023, we can certainly say that downtown has picked up a tiny bit with regards to condos. Midtown has certainly picked up considerably with regards to condos. North York, according to the numbers, has dropped a tiny marginal bit. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, from my ears to the ground, I would probably have to say it's kind of flush with last month. It's kind of plateaued. As always, for more on the Toronto real estate market and Toronto condo market, feel free to subscribe to this channel. This is Sam from Saberi Real Estate, Remax Realtor Realty Inc. Include your questions in the comments. I will get to them, I promise. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.